Do you mind telling
What's
me who the
happening, though, y'all?
masked
This
man
your
is?
boy, the big ugly trans doll. I identify as an electric power grid. Shocking, ain't it? Got a video about just such a topic. This apparently this transformer is trying to justify not letting you know that he is really a dude before y'all get it popping. But he wants to say that that shouldn't be considered wrong, not a crime, nothing of the sort. It's perfectly fine, whatever they may do, as long as it's them that's doing it.
I don't consent, or you don't consent
No.
to sex.
The question was, if we go out and you get too drunk and we have sex,
And we have
you
sex,
can't consent.
and I can't consent to saying no.
Right. Or yes, or anything, you just go through with it, right? Because you're drunk and we're having a good time, and you don't even realize that's where it is because you're drunk. Is that great?
It's great on your part, not mine.
Exactly.
Now, he's setting up the premise for the question that's supposed to prove, the hypocrisy in, the lady boy's point. So basically what he's saying is if you were both intoxicated and y'all decide to go get it in, he's liable for taking it, but not her. That doesn't make a bit of sense at all. If one being intoxicated means they can't consent, that would apply to both parties in the story, wouldn't it? Doesn't that make sense? But no, according to him, it's not that case at all. It's just not the truth. On your part it is, but not mine. That's what she said.
So in the event that I think I'm having sex with a natural woman and I find out later that she is not, is that great?
No.
Why not?
Because I can't force you to have sex with me.
But you can also let me know and make sure
Like,
I know.
open my legs.
You have to make sure
coming
I
down.
understand what's going on. You have to make sure I understand what we are doing is consensual between a man and a woman.
It's not
what
consensual if you don't understand.
Exactly. It's if you are not in a position to say, yes, I want to have sex with you as you are, then that is great.
I will call that mental manipulation rather than.
Look at the leaps and bounds people will go through to completely miss the logic of what's being said. The fact is, if a woman can decide that she gave you some years ago, but now she feels differently about it, she can retroactively withdraw consent. So even though at the time she was with it, later down the line she can decide she wasn't, and you could be charged for that. Also, if you have sex knowing you have an STD and you potentially pass it to that person, that could be considered a crime too. But no, there's another one. If you apparently now they're calling it rape. If you lie to a woman about your job, if you tell her you're a doctor and she gives you some, and then she finds out that you're not a doctor, they're calling that rape as well. But a dude wearing a dress, if you accidentally well, I can't say accidentally because you did it on purpose. But if you go ahead and get you some from a dude in a dress and then you find out later that it was a dude and you didn't know it, well, that's just your fault. You just take a L on that, right? There's no accountability on the transformer to let you know that, hey, I'm really a lady boy. They're not obligated to do anything of the sort. Why are they letting the weirdos run the world? I don't understand this. This should absolutely not be acceptable, right? So they're gonna bend all of these rules and all of these language things that you gotta refer to them as what they want to be called. They're gonna do all of that, but they're not gonna be held accountable at all for blatantly and deliberately trying to trick people into having sex with them. You see that their goal is clearly to trick straight men into having sex with them. That is clearly the goal, right? They're not going after gay dudes with this, right? And they don't actually believe they're women. I'm not buying into that at all. But they're not going after dudes who want to willingly have sex with a man. They're going after dudes who wouldn't touch a dude. That's what they're doing. And that is absolutely disgusting. And I do believe that should be considered a crime, just like knowingly passing someone an STD. That's a crime and it should be a crime. And this type of deception. I mean, look, they locked up the Tinder swindler, the guy who scammed a bunch of women out of money. He tricked them into thinking that he was rich, and they sent him money, thinking that they would get the money back, and then he either ghosted them or whatever the case. That was considered a crime, even though they willingly gave the money up. But this here is not considered a crime at all. Totally acceptable. You see how the laws and the rules are really set up against masculine men, right? They want you to be completely emasculated and weak and frail and broken down so that you can be overran. They're trying to attack you from every angle with the nonsense. You have to be very careful out here.
If men can walk around the streets without a shirt on, I think women should have every right to do so.
Agreed.
Did y'all happen to see Lil Nas X's supposed album cover? Apparently, he has turned to God. So he must have broke up with Satan. Ain't that amazing? Check this out. Let me tell you something right now, Fruit Pop. The Zesty Jesus thing, not gonna work. It's disrespectful. And, if God sent the stones down here to fall on top of you for the disrespect, I most certainly would not blame him one bit. It's beyond blasphemous. It's downright an abomination in itself, much like the lifestyle that you've chosen to live. Very, very disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Now, I like jokes as much as the next man. I really do. I don't tend to be offended by things that are intended to be funny. But I will say this. The things that you have done in the past have not been remotely funny. Not even close. I mean, it's bad enough that you made probably millions of children witness your disgusting music video where you were down in hell, twerking for Satan. Disgusting, vile creature you. Now you do this with this album cover right here. I only have to say to you that you best understand that there are consequences for this type of behavior here. And God will most certainly see to it that you pay the price. Better keep your head on a swivel, man, because that is absolutely nasty. But hey, that's what you're into.
Why do men pursue women that they don't want? Because they want to fuck them. For the same reason that you know that he don't want you, but you still let him fuck you. That's the reason why he do that. Because you probably got a bad attitude and good pussy.
What she said is absolutely correct. Though I don't advocate for slut making, it only leads to potential issues. I understand that, I've dealt with women that I really didn't like. But they had something about them that I really liked. So I continue to deal with them, and I wouldn't suggest anybody do that because it's a trap. You might end up with a little baby by a woman you don't like. And I think that's a common thing. So as men, we need to develop more discipline and, learn to try and actually have an actual connection with the woman before you go on slide up in her, because too many possibilities, things could go wrong. And now you're stuck with this woman for 18 years and you can't stand the sight of her. So do not do it. Trust me on this. But hey, that's just my big ugly opinion. I'm the big ugly man dog. And I am out of here. Make sure you give me a like on the way out if you forgot to. Please, thank you very much. Peace.